Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube, the Twitch, and or wherever you get your podcast audio. We got the front row Bill and our very own knockout Alicia in his house. How y'all do?
Oh, fantastic. How are you?
Big night, J-Bone.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff for me personally. So bear with me here. It's been an emotional week. If I'm up for it after this, I'll go live and get a little personal behind the scenes with the bone as far as what's all happening. But we can certainly talk some news. There's a lot of news, and also, hell of a show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, supposedly no Twitch. There's Twitch. I'm on Twitch.
Twitch is there.
Come on, people. There's Twitch.
Twitch is there. Twitch is there. It's. I see the green check mark above. It means it's live.
I'm typing in Twitch.
There
you go.
There it
Twitch
is.
lives.
See, it's there. Your team Twitch is alive. Yes, on the YouTube. So, but before we dive into this, don't forget to. Oh, excuse me. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. If you want to tip one of your favorite podcasts, you are so more than welcome to. We have a few tips before we even started here, you maniacs. Thank you so much.
Thank
To,
you.
let me zoom up here. Brian Field and Punk Nova Tracy. He's always changing his name. It's so weird. Thank you. We love you. We love all the support, no matter how big, how small. It's all appreciated, especially this time of year. Yes, Paul, Papa is doing okay. Papa Bone just celebrated his 85th birthday yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yes. 85th.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Papa Bone's doing all right. But yeah, I'll get into more of that later. So, shall we talk some news, or did we start off with something else?
Let's go with a little now. Let's start a little J Bones news.
Jiminy Christmas.
And now, J Bones news. And we got real news tonight. A signing. All kinds of guest performers from Impact in the news. J Bone, hit them. Where?
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
All right. So let's see. Should we be the first and unique and tell it exactly how it is? Let's see. How do I roll all these together? Lady Frost invaded the Fozzy tour, put Jericho in the hospital. And then Jeff Hardy showed up at the gig, tried to be the lead singer of Fozzy, and everyone sent him home. No.
Come on, J-Bone. We expect better from you. This is
For that fake wrestling news.
Don't believe anything that you read on the internet.
Okay. I know that's Alicia's favorite song. It's not a great way to start out the show. My apologies. I'm apologizing for Bill. Damn it, Bill, apologize.
Here. No. We'll apologize to all those media.
Yeah, extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, there you go. All right. So, big news coming out earlier today. I don't even know what the hell to start with. We'll start on with Jeff Hardy, I guess. Jeff Hardy was released from the WWE. Now, we tread lightly on this because there is other news out there, but we're not going to call this confirmed news because of who it came from. And of course, he had to be first to put it out there. So please, people, when you see news like, oh, it's because of this and that, take it with a grain of salt. Okay? So here's okay, but we'll I'll give it 2 seconds of fame, because SRS said he was sent home because he refused rehab. That's the part that I tell you folks to please take this with a grain of salt. Has he had a controversial past? Absolutely. It's well documented. But if his wife and his brother are saying Jeff is okay, obviously with no more details than that, unfortunately, then that's what it is. That's what we have to take it with. Let's start with Alicia. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't have many thoughts. It might be an interesting time to have a conversation amongst yourselves, though, is that how quick people stigmatize addicts, or former addicts, rather. I don't know. Just think before you talk. We don't know the full story, and I think it's kind of wild that a lot of people are running on assumption.
Yeah, I've said that 1,000 times on top of 1,000 times. Never assume anything.
How do you know he didn't pull a Gail Kim and decide mid-match, fuck this shit, and leave? So,
That, okay, now I understand.
Assuming makes an ass out of you and me, you know what I'm saying?
I saw you guys in the Facebook chat earlier, and I don't remember who said what, because everybody was talking about it. And someone...
In my ass.
Thank you, Moose. Said, what if he pulled a Gale? And I didn't understand what you guys meant by that, but now I understand.
Well, because people don't really talk about it because it's so far in the past, and not very many people have done what Gail did. But think about it. She was in the middle of a rumble, a women's rumble, eliminated herself, and just left.
Right.
Because she decided, she mid-match was like, I don't want to fucking be here anymore.
She's like, I'm done. Yeah.
And peace, and, how do we know? Like, I just think it's kind of wild. And, maybe just, give the family and Jeff and everybody just respect and privacy and let them deal with whatever happened, and let's move on.
Right. Exactly. Bill, any thoughts?
No, I'm with you. I think you got to see it play out a little more. We know there was a story out there from, shall we just say, not the most credible source on some of the specifics of stories. Obviously, we know he's been released, so we can gather that much. And obviously, there's a history, and us as Impact fans know a lot of that history very well. We all know what happened at Victory Road with Sting, so we've seen it, but he had a major run in Impact well past that. He was the face of the company down at the Impact Zone during the later years of Orlando. So by far the most overact when he was there, the Broken Hardys later. So obviously, even though there definitely is some demons in his past, there's no doubt about that. I'm not sure exactly what's going on today, but he's... Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I think everyone just hopes the best for him. He's obviously injuries, things like that, getting older. Hopefully he takes care of himself, like physically, mentally, whatever he needs to do. Because who knows? Maybe it's just that's a big stage, obviously, up there, up north, that he's on. So sometimes that's not the best for if you have issues. So. But no, I think everyone wishes the best. I think everyone, Impact fans, unless you're real recent fans, I think he was a huge part of the company for many years, many different runs. So definitely wishing him the best. And because I have a lot of Jeff Hardy stuff. I have paintings by Jeff Hardy, so I'm a big Jeff Hardy fan. And only my buddy Dave's a bigger Jeff Hardy fan. So definitely wish the best for him.
I just thought of that because whenever your buddy, now he hasn't done this in a while, but he was doing like unboxings and stuff, sitting there, and you'd always see the Jeff Hardy merch in the background. Yeah, but yeah, look, this is honestly a time when I look at the company more than, I mean, yes, obviously Jeff has demons. We don't know if this is why he's gone, and we don't have to know why. That's his personal life, okay? But how many times has a company like the WWE taken someone with addiction issues and made it a storyline? It's so sad. And they've done that a few times with Jeff over the last few years. And, it's like, that's so wrong.
Yeah, it's nothing new to wrestling, though. That, to be fair on that, it's like we saw the early stuff where, like, the stuff with Raven, where they're talking about heroin use and all. Like, it's sadly, wrestling has dipped, TNA has dipped in these waters in the past. It's tough not to go to real life for inspiration and storytelling.
No, and it's true. I just wish they would do it for more positive things.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, they did it with Scott Hall. That was ugly back in the WCW days. They did it with Hawk, literally right before his death. It just thanks, Rona Blue, for the big tip there. $4.99. Much love, brother. Much love. But yeah, it's look, all in all, to put a bow on this, we just wish Jeff the best, and it's going into the holiday season now, and that he could just find peace, find some peace and some strength during this holiday season. And that we wish him well, And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I see so many people online, and it's just ugly. Like, oh, I hope he shows up here. Oh, I hope he shows up there. This is a human being we're talking about. Can we just get through the holiday season without talking about that for 2 seconds?
Yeah, take care of yourself. Paint. Play music. Like, do some stuff that makes you happy for a bit. Like maybe just heal up, man. Just heal up.
Is Jeff's music on Spotify? Does anybody know?
It
or any kind of music platform?
I believe it's on Spotify. What is
Go
it? Like Perry
play his music, guys.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to support Jeff, that's a good way to do it, and go give him hits on wherever you can listen to his stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, because I believe he was still recently touring, like, music-wise.
Trent said he was playing a gig with his band in Chicago.
I believe he was. Yeah. So he might be on the road, like, currently. I don't know if that's going to change now, but definitely, go out and support him with things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wherever he is, whatever he does, it's the best way you can, just keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and hopefully it's hopefully it's not what everybody is assuming it is. Okay. Let's see. What else is in the news here? Jericho is on tour in the UK and was hospitalized with a non-COVID related whatever. He was admitted into the hospital.
Speedy recovery to him.
Yeah. I was, the guy's a rock and roller through and through. I always say, damn, Chris, maybe you should lay off the Grey Goose. Hopefully it's, ate the wrong, oysters at a restaurant or something. Hopefully that's all it is,
Don't want that.
But yeah, so he's in the UK, hospitalized, not good. Hopefully he gets out of the hospital and can finish his tour soon and get back to the States safely and healthy. Let's see what else. Oh, something we found out at the top of the live reaction. officially the newest signed knockout in Impact Wrestling. And apparently your cat's really excited about this too, Alicia.
They just picked up a toy and they talk to their toys when they're playing with them.
That's adorable.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. My cats do it all the time. I'm like, it's either they're playing or it's a hairball or something.
Strange creatures.
We love them. Ronan says Jeff Hardy's stuff is on iTunes too. There you go. Google it.
There you go.
It's out there. Just look it up.
Google him.
Lady Frost is the newest signed Impact Knockout on the women's roster. Tremendous. It's official.
That's cool. That's cool.
Some cool news for it. Thoughts, Alicia, on Lady Frost being officially signed?
Ecstatic. That's really exciting. I think she is a great addition to our roster. I mean, look at what she's doing in the ring off the top rope. Who else is doing that? Who else is doing that? In the female.
Just mentioning the top rope move, that finisher, whatever it's called, it just gave me goosebumps, literally. Right
yeah,
now.
Dude, that was flawless.
That finisher is amazing. Daniel Spencer, if you're in the chat, tell us what that finish is called. Or if anybody in the chat knows what it's called. Zach Butterford telling Bill to chill out. He is chilling out. He's got the Sabin jacket on. Anything else in the news we want to talk about?
Well, they did announce the second of the sponsorships. We already knew about Pabst Blue Ribbon, but
yes,
yeah, we got the Icon Foods, which seems like a pretty big deal. I guess I didn't know about this, but I saw somebody say a little earlier that I guess they partnered with the UFC earlier this year, Icon Foods. So that's
okay.
That's pretty big, and we did just have that recent. I don't think we've even talked about it. Was it Anthony Pettis from the UFC was it last week's show?
Okay.
So definitely an MMA thing going on with in Vegas. Makes a lot of sense. But and here's Punk Nova, the temperature drop. That's what I thought.
That's a good one.
But somebody said I think it was something else, which I'm not sure if it was.
It could be the temperature drop. Yeah, I think they mentioned that.
I think that's what Stryker called it
too. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
She's a great addition to the Impact roster for sure.
Icon Meals is a big partner with the UFC. They have all different kinds. Like they have your extra protein meals. They have your keto-friendly meals. So, like, I think, let me see if I still have it on my phone. I think I brought up, like, a steak. Like, they have boxes, like a lot of the pre-meal stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, got all kinds of stuff going on.
So, it's like
pre-packed meal. So, like, for
those
that, like, want to have, like, okay, I'm going to eat this, and this today. So, you can go, like, extra protein. You can go with a lean box. But, like, obviously, it's like your protein, your veggies.
Everything you need to stay fit. Yeah. That's pretty cool, especially for people who are trying to keep track of what they're eating. That kind of way to go, I hear is very helpful. I cook all my meal prep when I do it, so.
Well, that's the key for a lot of things. It's just being able to have a set schedule. And a lot of people just don't have the time with work.
It's true. So that's why I'm saying it's great for people who are living the life that doesn't, allow them the time to cook
Hey, I should probably do something like that. That'd probably be a good idea.
I consider it.
Bill on the Road is going to be sponsored by Icon Meals. Look at that.
Yeah, right? Sponsored.
You could do the front row vlog sponsored by Icon Meals, and then you could say, what are we having today? Oh, it's right here. It's blah, blah, blah.
Speaking of the vlogs, somebody said it during the watch along that I guess Zicky Dice has a new vlog out. I saw that our very own Zach Bonifer just put some screenshots of me bowling with Zicky Dice. So check out his latest vlog, and you might see myself bowling with the outlandish one, who's much better than DSK.
Nice. Hey, is that like part 2 of something, of a tournament or something
Mhm.
for charity, the bowling, or was that just like a one-off?
That was a one-off there. Like they've done it at other Vegas bowlings, but
okay.
that one, unless there's something else related, but that's
I mean, was there like a bowling championship that gets tossed around for whoever wins?
Yes,
Like
yes, like Rohit won last time, and he won this time as well. So good job by friend of the show, Rohit Raju.
Look at that.
I thought it looked like Zicky was going to get it for a while, but then there you go. Oh, Impact and Eagle Saw said 10 minutes in, I'm talking about possible scores. And I believe I said I should get like, what number did I throw out there? I think I said like 120. I think I could get like a 120. And you can confirm with Ziggy Dice on the nose, 120. That's I usually know what I can do that day. So that I was pretty good at. At least knowing what to expect.
Back when I bowled, I was lucky if I got a 50, man. But it's fun. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's a great time. I suggest if you can ever do that, it's one of the best experiences you can have with the wrestlers, like where you're hanging out. Like I said, like on my team, it was Ziggy Dice, it was Havok, Rohit Raju. We were loaded. It was great.
Nice. Oh, look at it. Anna says, I met VSK Sunday at Beyond Wrestling. Look at it. Met one of your favorites, Bill. Anna, tell Bill what a great time you had meeting. But I'm going to change Bill's
Did
mind.
You instantly fall asleep talking
It's
to VSK?
Bill. It's going to take
I'm protecting Sam Beal here. Come on, J-Bone.
That's like multitasking. Which is what we shouldn't do on this show. PSK, baby. See, Ronan's a fan.
I think we just have a lot of contrarians here because it's the same thing. Where's the Skylar squad now? That's what I want to know.
Right, the Sam Beal squad, the Skylar squad.
Well, Sam Beal's fantastic.
There's a few different ones. Yeah, well, I mean, is he even on the roster page anymore?
I don't know.
Sam Beal?
You know what?
He should be. He better be. But maybe he's not. He's hurt.
Let's go to the
Dr. Ross.
Well, even if Dr. Ross, if he's hey, look at that, Lady Frost on the page. Look at that.
Wait, hold on. We're going to Dr. Ross.
This proves that elderly abuse in this country is at an all-time high, but it looks like so much fun.
Thank you. Okay, Sam Beal is still on the roster page, so that's good. That's good. He's just out for a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lawrence D needs. Actually, they're actually calling him Lawrence D now on the page. They need a new pick though. They need a new.
Yeah. Well, they need a new pick and they need the new Tron. It was still the Larry D instead of a Lawrence D Tron. Yeah. They got to update that.
They do.
But it was fantastic seeing.
They need some smoke. They need some maybe some ladies coming out.
Well,
with them.
And here's the other debate. People in the chat. I know even Kevin Martin was saying the internet would be mad if they were doing steamy, slow-mo, Sabin. But wouldn't everyone in the chat be fans of a steamy, slow-mo entrance for shirtless Chris Sabin?
Oh. The next centerfold and playgirl, I'm telling you. That or Lawrence D. I mean, they're going to have like a cage match to find out who is the next centerfold and playgirl.
That is not an appropriate question.
Oh,
is that still around, that publication?
I don't know.
Who buys magazines? Ew.
I know. Paper, right?
Waste of paper.
I have seen that penis.
No, they didn't say penis. They said paper.
I have seen that paper. Yeah. Anyway,
Jiminy Christmas. Well, that's about it for news. Shall we get on to the review?
I think we should.
We should, probably. All right, so this is for the December 9th, 2021 Impact Wrestling, starting off with some BTI here. Let's see. We got highlights from last week, of course. We got the Iceman Intel talking about Scott D'Amore making the announcement about the Ultimate X, the Knockouts, Ultimate X match, but that he oh, not the crotch, no, Bill, not
What?
that X.
X.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. Never mind.
Come on, Jason. We're on a clean show here for kids.
It's a kids show, all the time. So it was talking about maybe giving the responsibility, spreading it around, giving it to someone else, maybe, just because there's so many people in Scott D'Amore's face, and it's just time to share the responsibility. Just because like I said, otherwise poor Scott D'Amore, coach, he's going to end up like me.
Big night for the coach. Very busy.
It is. Poor guy. Let's see. So who is going to be the person or persons helping Scott with this decision making? We'll see. I have to wait and see. Then we've got the newly contracted. They announced it during the match here. It's great. Lady Frost versus Kimberly.
Yeah, but who announced it? Who had the scoop?
Although it was actually, so I missed that, but you said Gia Miller announced it before they went to the ring.
Correct.
Okay.
She announced it at the stand-ups with Josh, which has become very entertaining. The banter between Josh Matthews and Gia Miller. They got a chemistry going on right now. Good back and forth. Yeah, it is fun. The golden interviewer, Gia Miller, who's going to be voted best interviewer at Impact Wrestling.
Now,
is there any denying that?
Is that a thing? Was that actually one of the awards that you can vote on?
I think she was.
ImpactWrestling.com?
I don't think they had that as an option, but they should. And don't forget to vote on ImpactWrestling.com.
There you go.
I will let you my votes. My votes are probably controversial.
Controversial? You probably got a bunch of write-ins. Sam Beal wins everything, right?
If only they allowed write-ins, but they don't.
Skyler for knockout of the year. I mean, what are you doing, Bill? Come on.
Well, you got to go with. You would think I'd vote certain ways, but I probably didn't. I looked at the year and I picked who should win based on the year, 2021. You have to give credit where it's due to certain people.
Favorite tag team, Good Brothers. I mean, come on.
Of course. They were the champs.
Alicia, I got to ask you.
Yes.
If you could name knockout of the year, and I don't know what all the voting options are on
one name.
As far as who would you pick for knockout of the year for Impact Wrestling?
Oh, this is kind of tough. For me, I guess it would be a draw between Mickie James and Deonna. Deonna for obvious reasons, Mickie James because it's just nice to see her back in the Impact ring as Impact Women's Champion. And don't need any better fucking reason than that.
There you go.
You never need a better reason for giving Mickie James anything.
It's a close tie. I hear you.
2 words.
I'm sorry.
You can't help it.
It's so good.
Isn't that 3 words?
Hardcore.
Hardcore country. Sorry.
And then you got to throw in the bison. That whole guitar solo he does after that, it's hilarious. Folks, if
that's the only lyrics I know.
Right? The guitar thing afterwards. If you're not watching TNI UK, our lovely chaps from across the pond on Wednesday afternoons here in the States, Wednesday evening in the UK, you should. Okay, we love it. We love our TNI UK brothers, and go get some of their new merch too. That link is in the description of the video as well.
What?
Wait, what
Spice
is
and
that?
selling songs?
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
100%
Bison
pure
wore
beef.
a thong?
She says, I love that bison thong. Did you misspell song? Because
Is he selling merch?
if
He's merch, all right.
Beefalo thongs?
if he's the reason that we don't get monetized, I'm going to have a chat with him. My God. That's too much beefalo. All right, we continue.
And just as Zach mentioned it, we got to wish a happy birthday to Kurt Angle, former. I put him on the Mount Rushmore of TNA Impact, and just for you, Kurt, you suck.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Happy birthday to you, Kurt Angle.
Well said. Well said. Oh, Anna says thing. She loves that bison thing.
He went from a thong to a thing. Slight improvement.
Okay. I get that better than the thong. I'm like, wait a minute.
I still don't get it, but
maybe his gimmick.
We continue. Oh, the what bison? The thing he does.
Could be that.
All right. Lady Frost versus.
You guys swing?
Thing rhymes with swing. All right, Frost versus Kimberly. This was a great match to have for Frost's first match on the roster, and they did show highlights from this later on the show, which was great because they usually don't do that unless it's something really significant, but in this case it was because Lady Frost does tie in later, and we'll get to that. But any thoughts on this match that she won?
That move at the end, bro. Wow.
Yes.
I only caught the pin, so
There you go, Bill.
No, this was a good one. Kimberly, good opponent to put her up against. I think we're all big fans of Kimberly, and I know out there with Brandy, that was like we can't help but always notice Brandy, and the camera does a good job of getting all of her different facial expressions when the match is going on. But Kimber was taking it to her. She kind of took her a little to the woodshed here and there during this match. Looked like Lady Frost was going to have a little trouble with Kimber, but she did come out on top here. Impressive. First contracted match, which they were really putting over. Striker. They do the backstage segment later during the show. So
yes.
This was a nice rub for Lady Frost. Obviously, we had the Savage Gentleman on previously. I know Bison from the UK has interviewed Lady Frost. Hopefully, at some point we can get her on the flagship show here as well. I've seen her a lot on the indies. Big fan. I know if at some point she gets involved with tag action as well, seems such a natural fit if that certain tie of Valkyrie comes back. They could be an interesting duo, kind of offering two different styles. But no, good now signed debut.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and it was very emotional for her. You could tell when she got that win, it hit her. It hit her that she got her first signed win there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
she's a former gymnast, guys.
Yeah,
and it
definitely
shows.
Yeah, it shows big time. Think of that off the Ultimate X structure. Ooh, baby.
Oh my!
She's gonna be phenomenal in that match.
You know what? This reminds me of Rawway.
Okay.
The Ultimate X match. One person was made a star just off what they did in that match.
It's been a bangorama.
And that's what I see for Lady Frost, because he did a sick move off the top of the Ultimate X structure, and it was like, watch Ace Austin, and then he became a star. I think you're going to see the same thing with Lady Frost.
Is that where he climbed up the pole and did some I forget what he did, but it was something on top of a pile of guys or something.
But
Yeah.
like from that show, what you came away remembering was Ace Austin's Crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wild man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and we'll talk more about the ladies later. But yeah, so it was a great match. I know sometimes we don't give a lot of love to the BTI match, but this was a lot of fun. And to be honest, I was really worried about Lady Frost because the odds were certainly against her, and I was like, and I think we've kind of chuckled about this before because she was actually put in a match with those two undead brides, wondering, all right, if she doesn't come out of this with a win, are they going to drag her to the undead world or whatever, and make her one of their own? So I was like, oh man, are we going to see Lady Frost turn into the what were you saying during the show, Bill?
She'd be the undead. She'd be undead. How cold would she be? She'd be undead.
Right. She'd be even colder.
The undead Frost. The undead Frost.
But she came out with a big win, and there was no post-match beatdown, so it was just a clean win. Great stuff there.
Nice.
And on to the main show here. We start out hot with Chris. There was a lot of intergender stuff going on here in this episode, and we haven't seen that in a while. But this was really a lot of fun. We had Chris Sabin and Mickie James versus Matthew Rehwoldt and Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo and Matthew Rehwoldt coming off with a win. And I want to watch this one back, but right off the bat, I got to give props to Deonna Purrazzo. She showed some athleticism in this match, and especially against a legend like Chris Sabin that just floored me. I mean, she can go with anyone, and I'm going to make a comparison here, probably a little controversial, but I mean it in the most loving way when I do this. And I'm going to compare her to the athleticism of Tessa Blanchard.
Okay.
Who could also go with the guys.
Right.
That's what I mean by that. Hopefully everybody
that's not controversial to me, Jay.
Well, it's Tessa being a controversial person in discussions before. That's all.
Compared to the former world champ.
Her talents, though, not controversial.
Oh, no. She'd agree with
I
it,
am
too.
the f***ing greatest.
Well, there you have it. But, Alicia, your thoughts on this intergender match?
I thought it was pretty phenomenal. All these people worked really well with each other. And I just really enjoyed the back and forth and all the shenanigans.
It was, and it also showed how underrated a guy like Matthew Rehwoldt is. Like, I don't know what he's all going to accomplish in this company, but being tied to one of the best knockouts in the company, not necessarily a bad thing. You know?
No, not at all.
Bill, what do you think?
4 words.
I love this match!
Oh, brilliant.
Come on. You got Steamy Sage. You got Hardcore Country. You got Deonna. I'm not very well. But I like Matt. But you got 3 all-timers in this company. And I am saying that Deonna will be an all-timer in this company. Mickie and Chris have already proven that. But this was great. And to start off the show, that you're not messing around tonight. Impact, like I thought this would be the main event, and then that's the first match on the card. So they started off hot with this tag match, and that's not just because of Chris Sabin. They started off hot, and then they go all the way. They finish it with. They just kept on building, because then you could have said, well, Eric Young, Rhino, that could be the main event. And then we get Morrissey versus Cardona as the main event with that stipulation. So loaded card, but great way to kick it off. No disappointment here. And I think Matt, the drama king here, you see him depending on what you use him as, what type of match, you put him in with wrestlers to wrestle, he can go. You put him more in a comedy thing, he can do that too. You put him as like the sidekick to Deonna, he can do that. He's very talented. He does the New Japan color. He's obviously had big roles, made major roles that were over. So I think that's a underestimated guy they've brought in and have been utilizing. So I think this match helped him get a little more due for his in-ring work.
Absolutely. Totally agree 100%. Excuse me. But yeah, so Matthew Rehwoldt, Deonna come off with the win here. Then we got Gia Miller with Matt Cardona talking about being put in the main event of Hard to Kill last week. Then Morrissey interrupts, and they start yapping back and forth. Then, man, Cardona's the size of the cojones on Matt Cardona right now in this company. Jiminy Christmas. He challenges Morrissey to a match, and he's like, and if I lose, you can take me out of the main event at Hard to Kill. Just kind of blew my mind right there. I was like, wow. So then sure enough, we end up with an unannounced brand new main event of the show. Mm-hmm. Morrissey versus Matt Cardona. If Cardona loses, he's out of Hard to Kill. Crazy stuff there. Then we get a VBD promo, EY. Somebody's alarm going off there. What's going on?
Wait a second. Is it the I speak?
Joe's setting off alarms. Control that guy.
You liked my promo, Bone?
Yeah, that was great. He's a man of few words. But it's all stuff leading up to the street fight later between EY and Rhino. What it's interesting is Joe Doring does throw his 2 cents in at the end of this, but then EY going into the match later, before the match, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, is he tells them to stay backstage. Of course, they don't listen. But.
Yeah.
Well, that's typical Eric Young.
Proud as a peacock.
Always.
Surely.
Always. All right,
oh, yeah, Joe spoke.
Joe spoke.
Scared the shit out of me. I didn't expect it.
Speaks.
Right? That's what we said. We're like, whoa, Joe speaks. Then we got Rohit Raju versus Lawrence D. The return of Lawrence D. This was a lot of fun. Some comedy, and of course, unfortunately, this ended in, I guess, what you would call a no contest, because it got interrupted by Josh Alexander. What a heel move! But for what we saw of it, we'll get into the Josh promo. What happened? What did you think about the return of Lawrence D. Alicia?
In the ring, I mean, he's been back. He came back last week, didn't he?
Did he?
Well, he came back at Wrestle House, but not. I think he did a backstage.
No, he did a backstage segment last week. So technically he's back, but it's back in ring. This is fun. I just like the character. I think it's something fun that he can really pull off, and good shit. Yeah.
There you go. Bill?
There's we're all happy to see Lawrence D back.
Turn that frown upside down, my man.
Even Rohit's got to be happy about this. But I will give Striker credit. I did like a lot of his analogies tonight. Sometimes they fall a little flat for me, but tonight, because I've been saying from the beginning, since Wrestle House 1, I wanted Lawrence D, the character, to be what Larry ran with. And now if that's what they're doing, I think that's fantastic. He like what he said for the ring rust, is that arrogance? Well, obviously Rick Martel arrogance. Because that's why I look at it as a modern day Rick Martel gimmick. And I think that was one of the greatest heel gimmicks ever. But today that'd be over. That'd be a super over babyface gimmick. Someone acting like that. So I think that's what Lawrence will get as long as he does it. So and Rohit being Rohit, always. So that's nothing wrong there. Good friend of the show, Rohit. But it'll be interesting to see if this, because Josh interrupts it, the call out Jonah. How will this finish? Will one of them go after Josh in the meantime, or will we get a return to this angle with Lawrence and Rohit? Will they get to finish this off at some point?
They should. I'm not sure how, but yeah, they absolutely should. I mean, I don't even care if it's on BTI, but they should absolutely have a chance to finish this.
Or maybe even we haven't talked about it, but the digital media title match this past week was a Lariato Pro Wrestling. Like, they're getting creative how they're doing this digital media stuff. So for all we know, they could have had a match. Like maybe Lawrence D has an indie match that's going to be shown at some point for digital media. I don't know. Wait, we're getting creative.
They are. I've yet to watch that one, so that is interesting. It's not just a. It looks like it's actually a fairly long match too.
Yes, it's by far the longest, other than possibly the one at Turning Point. Like most of the weekly matches have been pretty short, which I know we'll say. So I'll say once again, since it just came up. I think BTI, it'd be good to put the BTI match in there as well. I think there's enough room for it. I am a fan. They put most of Scott's announcement that was off air last week to announce the main event. They put that on BTI, which was good because I know they put a lot of stuff on Twitter and all for digital media exclusives. But I think by the time you get to the show, if you're going to recap stuff, throw all that digital media exclusives on BTI. Like, it's not on the main show, but at that point, at least put it on BTI for if people aren't watching everything on Twitter that they can check it out.
Yeah, there you go. So the match ends in a no contest. It really doesn't get going too fast or too far, I should say.
I don't know. Commander CJ might have just said maybe this is a digital media match. Next one will be at Destiny, which is George Iceman's promotion on December 17th.
Oh, cool.
Sure if that's what you can find to or not. I guess it is.
Maybe.
So, fantastic.
Maybe. But so Josh Alexander comes down, and I missed part of this because I had to step out. But he calls out Jonah. So the match stops. He calls out Jonah, and Scott DeBoer stops him right there and tells him he's got to get control of his emotions. And Josh Alexander's like, this is me controlling my emotions, and he just destroys. Who does he destroy? Raj Singh.
Raj Singh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he destroys him out of the ring before he even gets in the ring, and then he destroys him in the ring again. It's like, damn, Josh.
You got to listen to the cat.
Hold on, calm down, just breathe.
There you go. Just breathe. When you find out later that the one of the matches added to Hard to Kill now is Josh Alexander versus his. Now this is going to be his. Well, I guess it's not his in-ring debut, but it's going to be his pay-per-view in-ring debut. Jonah. So, and he's
don't disrespect Jay Vidal. Come on, man.
Right. Quite the up and comer there. I hear he's a good hand. Now, Jonah's been all over social media, and he has said, now I don't think this is necessarily a knock on Impact Wrestling. Like, everyone who leaves WWE is going to have their own goals they're going to set, whatever priorities they have. But he has said that New Japan is the priority, but he is also very thankful to get a chance to wrestle in Impact Wrestling. So it's like, okay, I'll take it.
Better to be upfront.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever that means for his future in this company, whatever, then that's fine, you know? But he's a great addition nonetheless. Next, we get VSK and Zicky Dice versus FinJuice. I didn't pay too much attention to this match. Alicia, you got some thoughts on this match?
Which one?
The VSK and Zicky Dice versus FinJuice.
Okay, so Zicky Dice's jacket is so violently bright, I couldn't look straight at my screen.
It was outlandish.
Kudos. I mean, that's awesome, but the camera is almost like a jacket on a creative character on a WWE game. Like, it just couldn't translate. It was cool. Other than that, I stepped out through half of this match, so I'm not reliant. But I did want to comment that that jacket was outlandish.
Well, and he starts the match. I remember now that he had the thing where he kept pulling stuff out of his mouth.
He did magic.
He did magic. That's amazing.
He's a magic man.
I grew up on David Copperfield. That's magic. This Zicky Dice, he may be
outlandish magic.
He's no David Copperfield, Bill. Come on. He's probably more.
How about if he pulled out a bone Dana at the end? Let's see Copperfield do that.
Yeah.
Make the Statue of Liberty disappear. Whoop-de-frickin' do.
I've seen David Copperfield pull a bandana out of an elephant's ass. I mean, David Copperfield's amazing.
He's no Zicky Dice.
But anyways, thoughts on this match, Bill?
Well, this was a tough one because I like FinJuice. Macho Juice, always getting the crowd going, David Finlay. But then, obviously, I'm at odds here because I'm cheering. Like earlier that day, I was bowling with the Dice Man. So I'm rooting the Dice Man on. But then they got VSK there, and all we saw VSK. I'm not sure where this VSK thing's going. I'd be okay with VSK as okay, bring him in, work with him. But the way he was brought into the learning tree as the spoiled brat of Brian Myers, where he does really nothing, but yet Brian Myers thinks he's fantastic at the expense of the rest of the learning tree, which all have character and are entertaining. And I'm mentioning Sam Beal. I'm mentioning Zicky Dice, and I'm mentioning Manny Lemons. They all got more charisma and character than VSK.
Lemons.
Oh, he's got the zest for life. You leave the lemons alone. But VSK, and he could turn into something. He's got some skill, but I don't get this whole do they want us just to hate him? Skylar didn't really do anything. It was just Skylar just felt he annoys us, so let's boo him. But VSK, everything they're doing with his promos, and it's just we gotta hate this guy. Even a turning point. Brian Myers is out. You put VSK in there? Why? Give me the Dice Man.
Our very own Truck seems to have a different view here. He says VSK is the Jake Roberts of our modern era.
What, can he do DDP yoga? Is that what you're telling me? That'd be one thing he can do.
Anna thinks he's kind of wonky. Terrence Sullivan here says, Vanilla Safety King sucks ass, daddy-o. I love all the various opinions, and I'm sure VSK loves them too.
He can turn it around, but I just right now I'm confused by this, whatever his push is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, it's Skylar. I was really hard on Skylar, but then after the last Vegas set, I was starting to give Skylar some respect. I'm like, okay, all right, Jenny boy, you're doing okay there. I can't not like you. But VSK, well, we'll see. Not at the expense of guys like the Perminator. I'll say it again: the Zest for Life, Manny Lemons, and the Outlandish Magician, Ziggy Dice, who's putting on his own show next month.
This is true. Yeah,
on Twitch.
And it's free on Twitch. Yeah. He's now announced some fairly big names. It's the return of Taya.
Taya?
That was the first name he announced, I think.
I don't see VSK booking any shows with Taya.
Yeah, this is true.
There you go, Commander CJ. Brian Myers would prefer anyone who didn't outshine him. I think that's the dynamic. You know what, Commander CJ? That's the best thought I've heard on it, is Brian Myers is going with someone so boring that Brian Myers is the most entertaining man in wrestling compared to him.
Damn.
But I like Brian Myers. I'm a big fan of Brian Myers.
Oh, yeah. I love Brian Myers. But I'm sure he's trained VSK, so I'm sure he's proud of him. So I'm sure that's part of it.
Well, that's the big dynamic. He hasn't trained. He's not Sam Beal's trainer. He's not Manny Lemon's trainer. He is VSK's trainer.
Right.
So there's a soft spot there for him, obviously. But to the Impact Wrestling audience, I don't know if they're catching wind of that.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's a great way to get new talent in the company, especially if you train.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in months from now. It may all pan out.
Yeah. So FinJuice gets a significant win over the Learning Tree here, and we get a lot more tag team stuff later. And I think I know where that's going, but we'll see. Then we have Moose and Morrissey facing off backstage. Excuse me. Morrissey does not trust Moose because Moose wants Morrissey to take out Cardona. So it's just them two getting a chance because Moose just does not want to face Cardona in this match at Hard to Kill. Let alone another guy like Morrissey. So
plays those mind games, Jabo.
Yeah, it is. You got to if you're champ. Then we have the street fight between Eric Young and Rhino. And then we have all sorts of wonkiness towards the end of this match. But Alicia, your thoughts on the street fight?
Somehow I didn't see this.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like street fight. I'm like, who the fuck was in a street fight? I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Well, and there was so much stuff that happened after this that kind of clouded over it as far as like all the tag teams coming out and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But Bill?
Well, Eric Young is not happy that you did not see his match.
Pathetic.
He's not happy.
Sorry, bro.
But
it's just the way it is.
But he went against the obviously War Machine Rhino. But this was he said no. Big Joe, Cody Deaner, not allowed at ringside. But
this is true, yes.
We knew this. They were going back and forth. Looked like maybe Rhino had a little edge at times. But then we do get the boys come out. they start. But then everybody starts coming out. We get the whole tag division pretty much in the ring. You get the Good Brothers. You get the Soldiers. You get Heath. So you get the whole gang. And during all these shenanigans, we get, as Stryker would say, the Terry Sawchuk, the goalie mask, cracked over the War Machine Rhino.
Casey Jones?
Yeah, Casey Jones mask. Now, on that one, does that get him the pin or does that get him the 2? And then does he hit him with the flag for the 3? Did he get him with the mask for the 3? Or was that just a 2?
I thought he hit him with the pile driver for the 3.
Yeah, he gets the pile driver. So that just softened him up. The mask, he got the hit, but he only got a 2 count. Then he hits the pile driver. So, but yeah, he gets the win here. Big win for VBD. Love to see that because obviously I think Young and Joe Doring, Joe Doring never been pinned. Eric Young, former recent world champion. That's a team that can be your tag champions long term if they want.
Oh, yeah. Could be.
Like they can defeat the Good Brothers, who are pretty much unstoppable right now. So I like what I see there. Obviously, you know, I'm a big VBD guy with Joe Doring.
Right, and with all it's this proof that, and they said this on commentary, so it's just, I'm going to paraphrase here, but it just shows that the tag division's on fire in Impact Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might be because of some stables here and there, but there's a lot of variety in matches that you can have. So, now I don't know. I feel like this is going to turn into a multi-team match at Hard to Kill just because of the ending we got here. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously, they've got to hurry up and figure this out because they only have so much more, you know, promo time with the holidays coming up, and I don't know what they're all doing. Did they announce anything? What's coming next week?
I'm looking right now to see if they did. They didn't right after the show, but they may have by now. It's usually like that 20 minutes after the show.
I mean, they updated the stuff on the Hard to Kill on the news page.
Yeah, that was the focus. It was Hard to Kill stuff.
Right.
Yeah, no new news for next week now.
Okay. So, but
let's see. Next week we're not at the best of. So it's one more week. Then the 2 best ofs.
That's usually what they do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then we got, Eric Young wins the street fight. Lots of shenanigans. We'll have to see what's up with the tag division, where it goes from here to Hard to Kill. Gia Miller then backstage again with the Inspiration and the Influence and Caleb with a K.
With a K.
Matching the Influence with his green neck brace.
And speaking of his accessories, I said it during the reaction, on December 20th, if you remember the Knockouts Knockdown, Caleb with a K is the one that actually did all the armbands for Daphne, the ones that said Daph that they were wearing. They're going to do a auction on High Spots for the same armbands that he made to support like mental awareness for a lot of the charities she was linked to. So as it gets closer, we'll definitely put that link out there. So definitely, if you want to support that, that's a great cause.
Absolutely.
Yeah, tremendous there. But then we've got a little dissension in the rankings here. It looks like, and this continues on after the match between the Influence and the Inspiration as far as what would this multi-team group be called. And they were like, oh, we'd be called the Inspirational Influence. And then the Influence is like, no, it'd be the Influential Inspiration or whatever, you know, influencing, whatever. And, you know, and Caleb's like just trying to like figure this out so we can figure out the hashtag. and Gia Miller's left there like, huh?
Trouble in Paradise already?
Yeah, cute stuff. It's like obviously everybody's getting along, but
I love it.
I'm still waiting for Tenille to jump ship and join the Inspiration. We'll have to see what happens.
She started, I think, a new website. I heard. I don't know much about it, but I think she just. I saw somebody posting something that she started a new like website. Like I think they're. Like when I say that, I don't think it's technically like a Patreon or like OnlyFans types things like that. I think there's something that she put together because I know she's big with all of her different, from the Taste of Tenille stuff to all the stuff she does on Instagram. So I think she's putting another out there, which is, once again, when she came on board, like Cardona, another one, she's very big on social media. So that's why I think this angle with the tag, as well as maybe digital media stuff, can be in her future, just because of all the different things she does.
Yeah, she is quite the influence.
It's not just a catchy nickname.
Pardon the pun, but yeah, between the Instagram and whatever she's all doing with her YouTube and everything, yeah. So then we get the match. We've got the Inspiration with the Influence and Caleb with a K at ringside versus all 4 members of the Decay. You got Taurus, Crazy Steve, Rosemary, and Havok. So you got more intergender here. Very interesting.
Oh,
we got it at the top of the show, and we got it right here, right before the main event as well. But yeah, this was fun. I don't have too much to say about this one. A lot of comedy spots where the K is scaring the crap out of
lots of bites.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Bite their face off. I didn't hear any chants this time. I was a little shocked by that.
Well, yeah, that was more of a Nashville crowd thing. They've done it in Vegas, but and you got to remember the Inspiration are very over as well.
They are. So, I mean, obviously, they're not getting their faces bitten off.
Yeah, the K, they were underappreciated.
Thank you, Taurus. Putting your 2 cents in there. I love that. Thank you, Steve, for getting that in there. I love it. Good Taurus bit. Alicia, any thoughts on the tag match?
I just like the dynamic between all of these people. And again, I'll probably say it over and over again, but the Iconics or the Inspiration, are a great addition to the Impact roster. They just fit in so good.
They do. They do. They're very talented, and if the Impact fans aren't on board yet, just wait. It's like the chemistry is there between the backstage stuff and the in-ring stuff. They're finishing each other's sentences. Come on, it's good stuff there. Bill, any thoughts?
Yeah, well, this one. Good match, interesting dynamic, because you obviously had the difference of the 4 knockouts going against a mixed intergender team with Decay. So that was an interesting dynamic for sure. But the one thing I'm noticing is just continuing to see, like for Decay, like we know we got in Crazy Steve and Taurus, but Havok and Rosemary looked, I thought, really good in this match. Like Rosemary now is a while away from removing the brace on the leg. I think you can definitely see in her performance. It's getting better and better. And right now, her spear, it may be one of the most protected finishing moves on the roster right now. Like after moves like the fold and things like that, like that's probably top 5 protected moves. Like when she hits a spear, she wins the match now, which that's pretty well protected. So I think she's looking great right now. So I think 22 could be a really big year for Rosemary. She's performing at a really high level. We already know how great her character work is, but her in-ring work since the injury, you can really tell it's getting back up to where she was pre-injury.
I hope so. I mean,
and that's the thing. We will go over it, but there's a reason she's in the Ultimate X. I think they're seeing that same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And for somebody that's been in the company since 2016, they probably couldn't talk her out of not being in that match.
Right. I mean, it's a different kind of match. Not everybody can be in an. I mean, yeah, you can put anyone in an Ultimate X match, but who's really going to perform well? And it's a challenge. It's a challenge for anyone and everyone, and we've seen that going all the way back to the first Ultimate X matches in 2004 that we talked about on the throwbacks. God, it's crazy. Like, you really got to prove yourself in these matches, especially when you're going for the belt and you got to get across the wires and whatever else they're all doing in the match. But yeah, so yeah. But yeah, this was fun. Decay gets the win here. Rosemary with the spear, but yeah, we'll see. This is heating up the women's knockout division 2, and so now there's some dissension between the Inspiration and the Influence. We see that at the end of the match as well. So Inspiration just kind of like, go away.
Yeah,
they're very hoity-toity. Then we got Gia Miller again with Lady Frost backstage. After she won, her match from BTI, and Scott D'Amore welcomes her to the Knockouts division and being the next signing for Impact Wrestling. And Lady Frost talks about wanting to be in there. Oh, hi, Scott.
Hello.
Scott D'Amore congratulating her on her win and welcoming her to the Knockouts division. And she wants in this Ultimate X match, and she wants to make history. And I mean, it's some big goals right there, right off the bat, just coming into the company like that. So then he talks about. How did I know you were going to do that, dude? You're going to bring in the Gail Kim brawler.
See ya, coach.
So he talks about. He talks about. Oh God, that's another. So talks about giving some responsibility to the newest. What exactly did he call Gail Kim? Is it the an assistant manager, or is it the Knockouts manager, or?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was a manager of the Knockouts or head of the night, sort of similar. It seemed like to when they called Karen Angle, like that. So it feels more. We knew she's been the agent for a while of the Knockouts.
Karen Jarrett.
Whatever. So I feel this means she's more on screen now, because she would occasionally show up on screen, but not a lot. So I think you might get a lot more of Gail. And who knows? Maybe this is the toe dipping into the Knockout show with your host Gail Kim in a way.
I see a lot of people asking for that.
Yeah, I'm all in for that. So, and if it does mean, hopefully it means even more. I know we talked about Tommy Dreamer's not been around, Don Callis. So that's a lot more on Scott D'Amore, RD, Jimmy Jacobs, D'Lo. So maybe that's more on Gail as well. Some extended responsibility. So definitely a fan of, because I think Gail's obviously a great mind in this business. So the more they take her advice, I'm down with. And you just ran into Gail, J-Bone.
I did. I had a great conversation with her at Blizzard Brawl and talked about how, she was doing, just thanked her for everything she was doing with the company, and that, everybody's been doing she and everyone else has been doing a great job. Got a great picture with her, and I even got it's not with me here. It's somewhere else in the room. I don't know. I got to clean up my office. But I also got one of those signed micro brawlers. Great stuff there. And great seeing her on screen more. If that's what it is like a knockouts GM or whatever, call it whatever. Good stuff there. But then she announces all the names for the Ultimate X, including Lady Frost, Tasha Steeles, Chelsea Green, Jordan Grace, and Rachel Ellering, and Rosemary. And Bill on the pre-show actually got all the names right.
I was very happy with that list because I looked at it. I've been talking about this for a little bit. It can't be random. You have to look at the Ultimate X match. You need certain styles to make that match work. And then you need people that can work together. You can't just throw them together and expect a good match. You need to have your base. You need to have your high flyer. You need to have some people that just can do, like, obviously we talked earlier about Lady Frost, a gymnast. Easy pick. You had to have her in there. You had to have the base. You had to have a Jordan Grace, who I thought should be, and I still hope one day is X Division champion. Perfect fit for that match. Rachel Ellering, her style, very good fit. The only thing is, that's the one tag team now in the match. So could there be dissension and Trent finally get at least something to go to that Rachel heel turn? More likely, it's a Jordan heel turn at some point. But that at least allows the dynamic. And Tasha Steeles, who I know a lot of people have been wanting to get this monster push, this could be the spot for that as well. But I know we talked earlier. I think this could be Lady Frost, win or not win. If she pulls off what I think could be the craziest move of the night at this major pay-per-view, that's going to be who, like, the gifts. They're going to get people talking. Is Lady Frost possibly in this match?
Absolutely. Don't give Trent any more fuel on that Rachel Ellering thing, please. Alicia, what do you think of the list that was announced from Gail Kim?
It's awesome. Points. I think Bill covered it all.
Yeah, they got a great list here, and can't wait to see this. It's absolutely. I think, I mean, as much as I love the main event and seeing Morrissey and Matt Cardona in the main event against Moose, I really think the knockouts are going to steal the show here.
It's going to be match of the night. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on to the main event. We got Morrissey versus Matt Cardona. Just a knockdown, drag-out match between these two. And it ends in, I want to get both your opinions on this. It was a great match. It ends in a DQ. I know sometimes people don't like that, depending on what happens. But Morrissey, how do we say this? Oh, just in the same conversation as Josh Alexander, lost control of his emotions and threw the ref across the ring.
Deserved it.
Jiminy Christmas. Really?
Who booked this?
Wait, are you saying that Brian Hebner deserved to be thrown across the ring, or that the match deserved to be DQ'd?
I'm saying this was I don't disagree with Morrissey's actions in this match.
Okay, so you think this was pre-planned by Morrissey as more of a head thing towards Moose?
Could have been. It'd be more creative if he thinks he has a better shot at beating Cardona at Hard to Kill. Because remember, three-way match, you don't need to pin the champion. Maybe he thinks Cardona is more susceptible as a 7-footer than Moose, who's a pretty big dude. But Cardona's not small. So
no, he's not.
So I am not a fan of a finish like that, though. Because, yeah, was he a little rough? He's a big guy. Can't teach that, they say, J-Bone. So I think Hebner needed to use a little more discretion with such a big item on the docket here with the hard-to-kill main event on the line. I think you got to be a little bit – did he do anything to influence the match? No. He pushed the ref. Put on your big boy pants and let's get this going here. Like Scott can give him a little finger waving later. That's about all that should have been happening here. But I get it. It's a way to protect everyone. And it does lead into the whole mind games, and we see that play out when Moose, who I never see at the Crow's Nest every time I'm there, was watching, and then obviously he gets involved. But it's obviously you're going to get a big Haas fight here for the main event of Hard to Kill.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Alicia, your thoughts on the match, the main event here?
It was good. I don't know. I think I would rather see a little chill on it before the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Because they're kind of focusing on a lot of these guys, like, in each other's grills, I guess. I don't know. I liked it, though. I mean, as per usual, these guys really know how to work in the ring.
So this ends with Matt Cardona grabbing Moose's title and raising it tall with his girl, Chelsea Green. A lot of drama with Chelsea Green as she gets thrown across the ring, too, from Morrissey. I know that's a lot of
just what he does.
Yeah, well, it's Morrissey means business. He's becoming the Morrissey's interesting here. He's becoming a fan favorite. You can tell by the cheers in the crowd. And but then when he does stuff like this, it's like, all right, how can you cheer that? But it all depends. I'm sure there's people out there that can't stand Cardona and Chelsea Green being in the main event here. Who knows? But then this is all in all, Morrissey is playing into the head of Moose here because he doesn't listen to Moose here when Moose comes in with his championship belt and he's like, come on, lay him out. And Morrissey just lays out Moose to the point that he just walks up the ramp without his title. He has no clue where he is. So Moose is the deck is absolutely stacked against Moose here. And I reminded him of that this past weekend too. I don't think he really appreciated that, but I wished him the best of luck nonetheless. Told him. Oh, and in my conversation with Moose, and now that we have an audience here, I'll talk about this more. So I asked Moose when I talked to him this last weekend at Blizzard Brawl. I was like, "So, Moose, champ, come on, between you and me, is Morrissey staying?" And he said, "Oh yeah, Morrissey's staying." So there you go, straight from the champ himself. He says that Morrissey is absolutely staying. So good news on that. No details like, putting pen to paper and stuff like that, but so truck here. Jay's close personal friend Moose.
Close personal friend.
Yeah, we're boys now. Yeah, he put the championship on my son. We took a great pick together.
Very nice. And I'll be seeing Moose this Saturday, PPW, not too far away from me in Broadheadsville, where he'll be facing Jonah. Moose v. Jonah, maybe a a sign of things to come in 22.
Oh yeah, either in Impact Wrestling or
yeah, we already know they're teasing that in New Japan. So yeah. So
and I don't care what Jonah's priority is. That the fact that the relationship is so good between New Japan and Impact Wrestling right now, stuff can cross over. It doesn't matter to me. But now that I know that Jonah is in Impact Wrestling for the time being, it makes me feel like it's more set in stone in a sense. It's not, he's from New Japan and he's here, so it's not one of those things like who the hell's that guy? I can't think of his name. Was it Ishimori? No.
The Bone Soldier?
No. Who had that match with Josh Alexander?
Oh.
Death match, Grandpa.
Grandpa.
Yeah. I can't think of his name. Suzuki. Thank you. Yes. It's not like one of those where he came over for, a set of tapings and, but he's not signed with Impact Wrestling. He's still in Impact. He's still in New Japan, excuse me. So.
Yeah, he was just doing the rounds. But yeah, this is definitely more. But as we're finishing the year of 21, if you would have a couple years ago said there was going to be a working relationship with New Japan where this much talent went back and forth, where FinJuice pretty much was at every taping, Bull Club guys have been on almost every show during this relationship, that would have been shocking. It would have been crazy. It would have been, as Ziggy Dice would say, outlandish.
Yeah,
but it happened. It happened. So big credit to Scott D'Amore, all the people at Impact that got this. Would look to be a relationship that was unrecoverable, people would tell you. But I don't know if it was. I just don't know if people were willing to put in the effort to fix it. But there were people here that did and saw that this is good for both promotions to do this. And obviously with Ring of Honor and the situation there, that relationship, who knows what they're going to be able to do. So this has been definitely to the benefit of both companies, because I've been to a number of New Japan shows this year as well. So it's been them doing the Strong brand has been a great thing to happen for Impact. So it should make it interesting. Who knows? Because we don't know what kind of the New Japan influence yet that maybe Jonah is going to be on Hard to Kill. So we'll see what happens. I'll be looking forward to see it in person. Maybe seeing more of you people there in the chat there.
So then we get the updated card of Hard to Kill. We've got Gail Kim announcing the competitors for the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match at Hard to Kill. You got Tasha Steelz, Lady Frost, Rachel Ellering, Jordan Grace, Rosemary, and Chelsea Green. We also have, I guess you could call this a grudge match of sorts. I'm not sure if they're going to put a stipulation on this or what, but we got Josh Alexander versus Jonah along with the rest of the card. So, Hard to Kill is ramping up nice.
Yeah, and I know Alicia will get a kick out of this because we talked about it previously. The graphic for the main event is Cardona in the Effie jacket with his hair slicked up like Effie.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting how Effie look-wise are going in the main event poster for Hard to Kill.
That's pretty interesting.
Is there some type of Effie/GCW tie-in? Interesting.
I don't know. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, the wrestling scene, as we know, has been kind of crazy lately with a lot of companies. Yeah, who knows who's running, free agents everywhere. January feels like it could be a crazy month. And I think Impact could be a big part of that. So stay tuned.
We might see a few more new names pop in.
Yeah, like I'm not necessarily even saying like roster members. You definitely could see a couple more, no doubt. But maybe there's just like New Japan, AEW in the past, maybe they have a plan for a crazy storyline for 22. featuring another promotion.
Like GCW, like a GCW invasion or something like that.
Maybe.
I think where Impact Wrestling is right now, honestly, I think it would be a good fit right now, especially when you're really trying to. I mean, their main pay-per-views are doing great, but when you're trying to ramp up your other, maybe, like the ones in between, the ones in between the ones you get each month, the Impact Plus specials. If you want to do something where you get maybe a tag team or one or two people from GCW coming in to start an angle and have a special match, a gimmick match or something, that'd be great. I don't need a full-blown invasion where you get 20 people, a dozen people from GCW came over representing and kicking. No, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Like they were doing some good angles, like Ring of Honor at the end here with GCW, with like the Briscoes becoming the GCW tag champs and kind of being like main fixtures on their handful of shows. And if you see that, their gates, GCW, they're selling out every show they're doing lately. So
couple thousand or whatever.
Yeah, so once again, if you can get some of that rub, obviously GCW doesn't have TV, get some of their people on TV, get some more fans at venues from a very hardcore ECW crowd that buys tickets to any show they can for that company right now. Mm-hmm. Very similar to AEW as well. They get more people to buy tickets than even WWE for some of the same venues right now, but not as many people watch it on TV. Right. So there's two different style of fans. There's the TV fan and there's the live event fan. Impact, just like every other wrestling company, need to try to get those worlds to come together. The people that watch TV and go to shows, right. Especially as you become a touring brand, which we know that's what Impact wants to do. It looks like they're going to be in a new town every month, probably in 2022.
And that's great to get back to, especially with the way things are. And they were doing that great before the pandemic, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, some smaller joints, but they were consistent,
And that's the thing. And I know a lot of people always put that out there as go to bigger venues. You're not there yet. Maybe at some point. I know a lot of people always throw the college venue. I don't think, if you're not a fan for a while, they did the college venue tour. I was at those house shows because you could get them on the cheap, like a college, 5,000 plus seat stadium.
Yeah.
But then you get 2,000 people in there and you're like, oh, that'd be a good gate. But it's so empty because it's too big of a venue. You don't play, you play a venue that you can fill up. That's the smart way to do it. And that's what they're doing. They're doing a pretty good job at venue size, good look for TV. They're doing a good job for production and all that. If you've heard the crowds in Vegas, they've sounded better. The miking, the lighting, it's all improved. So they're getting there, but it's all in steps. They pretty much redid everything when Anthem took over. So they've been getting there, and I think they're doing a good job.
Right. Alicia, any final thoughts on this episode while we wrap this up?
Just overall, it was really good. Fun watching. Seemed to flow really well. That's about it.
Cool. But yeah, like Anna says in the chat there, baby steps. It's you got to be careful because no matter where you go, right now with the way things are going on around the world, every city has a different rules to go by depending on what venues you pick. So they got to be careful with that, and they got to be considerate to their audience too when trying to figure out where they're going around the country and or overseas eventually, hopefully in 2020.
Yeah, and that's a key. If travel gets all no issues, hopefully we get through everything safe. But I know people are always saying it during the reaction show when we did the co-stream. Obviously a huge UK contingent. They obviously need to look at that. I would say on the top 3 list items for Impact Wrestling is a new UK deal. Obviously, our UK guys, TNI UK, can talk more about that. But we know how big the UK fan base is to Impact Wrestling, not only for UK TV, UK touring, but a lot of them traveled over to the States for big pay-per-views and all. I would go to all those events and there'd be a half dozen, 10, but in a VIP experience, maybe half of them were international at times. So that's a huge thing that they've not been able to do during the pandemic, obviously. So I think that's huge getting back on, just like we know that Sony 6 deal in India has been a huge thing for Impact over a number of years. That was probably their best deal before Anthem, or that was their best TV deal by far. So hopefully they can do the same thing in the UK again.
Eventually, yeah, exactly. All right, let's go around and let everybody know where you can find them. Alicia, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter under the handle Alicia Bihiki.
All right, Bill.
You can find me Twitter. My name, William M. Gardner. If you're around the PA area, I'll be in Broadheadsville Saturday for PPW. If anyone's looking, I think I might have an extra ticket, so hit me up. You can sit next to me at the show. And then obviously see you at Hard to Kill if you're going. I'll be heading down there. Not sure about any other shows. Probably at the ECW Arena next weekend if I see you there with some throwbacks. But yeah, and then obviously Discord and right here at TNI.
There you go. Yes, that link is in the description. Go jump in the Discord. Conversations always go on, and it's not always Impact Wrestling. Just all sorts of different channels in there you can go check out on the TNI Discord. You can find me over on the Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150. You can find me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast on YouTube and Twitch. I've been taking a short break. I haven't done anything since mid-November, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I've just been focusing more on TNI. I'll get into that more at a later date. But you can follow this show. All you got to do is look up We Talk Impact. If you're looking up audio, you can find it on Apple iTunes, Stitcher Radio, dear God, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, iHeart Radio, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Pandora. Just type in We Talk Impact and you'll find it. You can find us also on the the YouTube, the Twitch, and the Facebook, the Twitter box, and the Instanet. I'm killing my own gimmick right here.
Fresh Vector says, what are you doing there, J-Bone?
I don't know. It's been a long freaking week. J-Bone's brain is a little fried there. I need something to put the pep in the step. Jiminy Christmas. All right. So thanks all
Sponsored
for
by
joining.
Blue Chew.
Sponsored by something soon. Jiminy Christmas. Thanks everyone for all the tips. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. We're out of here, folks. Take care. We'll see you down the road real soon.